Salam and hi from Science Ventures. The topic is the factors of Malaysia being on top of the world in handling pandemic COVID-19. The video was created to present our data from the survey. The survey is conducted by using the online Google form. The data that obtained consists of 10 questions, which is divided into 3 sections. The first section is from question 1 to 3, which is discussing about the general information about our respondents and also their personal opinions regarding our research topic, such as yes or no or maybe. And the second section is question 4 to 7. Question 4 to 7 is about the general ways of how government or the Malaysian government handled the pandemic COVID-19. And also the third section, which is also the last section of our data, our survey, is from question 8 to 10. This section is particularly discussing about the personal emotions or feelings of the respondents, how they are going through the MCO life, and also their predictions of future about the Malaysia upon having a second wave or the second outbreak of COVID-19. The researchers managed to get 56 respondents. The data will be analyzed, interpreted, or further dissected by the researchers in order to know what are the factors what might have led Malaysia government to have such a remarkable recovery rate in COVID-19. To be honest, for your information, WHO, also known as the World Health Organization, recognized and also pointed out Malaysia as a successful nation in handling pandemic COVID-19 because Malaysia has recorded lowest cases such as below than 10 or even below than 5 for past month, which is unpredictable because COVID-19 rate is high. The spread is really high because the nations such as US and also Iraq are suffering because the spread rate of COVID-19 is high enough and also can cause fatality. But surprisingly, Malaysia successfully contained the virus for the past month by having remarkable recovery rate up to 96%. There comes a question into the mind of researchers. What are the factors, what are the contributors or the root cause that led the Malaysian government to have such a highly appraisable and remarkable recovery rate in handling the pandemic COVID-19? What are the methods they use to contain the virus? Let's see.
So I will be discussing about the first section. So it is from question number 1 until question number 3. So for question number 1, it is about ethnography. So based on our data collection, we can see that out of our 56 respondents, it is 96.4% are students, and somehow it is only 3.6% are from educational sector. Basically, the respondents are from Malay, Chinese, and Indian, and the range of our respondents are around 20 until 25 years old. Okay, so that is for question number 1. So for question number 2, we have asked about do we think did the respondent think Malaysia is leading the world in handling the COVID-19? So from our data, 89.3% of the respondents are agreeing that Malaysia is one of the countries that lead the world in handling the COVID-19. But somehow only 10.7% from our 56 respondents are not sure either our country, which is Malaysia, one of the countries that leading the Malaysia in handling the COVID-19. So that is the data for question number 2. So for question number 3, we have been forward about question that asks about what are the prominent roles that help Malaysian in winning the war against COVID-19. So in this question, we have asked opinion from the respondent, and we give a free answer to the respondent to basically to give their own opinion. So based on we have rearranged our data, and we have found that there is several opinion from the respondent. So there is a few which are first. There are a few saying that it is because the prominent roles that have Malaysian in winning the war against COVID-19 is because the Malaysian action by obeying the MCO rules. Second one is because the good actions that was taken from the government, and the third one is because of the frontline hard work and cooperation from the other section. But somehow a few respondents are saying that it is because of the medical hard work. But majority, we can see from our data, there is around 35.7% of our respondents that saying it is because of the Malaysian action by obeying the MCO rules, which is the Malaysian is take good action like doing the social distancing, wearing a mask, and follow the rules that have been asked by government that help Malaysian in winning the war against COVID-19.
So we proceed in question number 4. In this question was created to examine the agreement of the respondent in the resource effort taken by the government and the frontliners in ensuring the nation's safety. And the results of the question is as follows. As you see, in this result, we know that all respondents agree that our frontliners and our government are doing their best in our country. And this is also shown that all respondents are completely agree of the measures taken by the government and the frontliners in order to contain the contagion. This can be seen through the drive-through checkout, spraying disinfectants, assisting graduates to return back home, crowd gathering limits, and also provide Malaysians in finance forms such as bantuan perhatian. So next, for the next questions, these questions are simply ask respondents to respond on what they think. If the MCO was extended for a long time, would they obey them? So the result of the question is as follows. The results from the question, we can see that 73.2% of the respondents would obey the MCO if the MCO would be extended for a long time. Meanwhile, another 26.8% of the respondents are choose that they are unsure to obey or not if the MCO will be extended. So from this, we know that the majority of the respondents are choose to support the government at any cost, while minority of them choose that they are unsure. Question number 6. From these results, we know that 91% of the respondents are choose to stay at home as advised. Meanwhile, the 8% of the respondents are choose to go for holiday during the pandemic. This is mainly because of the stringent SOP, which is standard operating procedure that were made by the government in all of the tourism destinations in the country. So I can say that it is safe for the respondents to go for a holiday in this pandemic if they are willingly to follow the standard operating procedure. By following the sequence, this question number 7 need the respondent to answer if the Malaysians followed that the rules regulated in the MCO, will this period will be over? So the results of these questions are as follows. So from these results, we know that 83.9% of the respondents choose that there will be an ending for this pandemic if Malaysians followed the rules regulated during the MCO. But there are minorities of them which is contribute to the top 0.5% which are unsure about that. Meanwhile, there are a few of them which is 3.6% choose that nothing will be changed if Malaysia followed the rules regulated during the MCO. In my opinion, researchers believe that vaccine will be an ultimate recovery to end this pandemic of COVID-19. But heading up to this moment, following the instructions made by the government and the standard operating procedure that the government has provided, this could be the best alternative for us in order to end this pandemic. However, I'm pretty sure that some of the respondents might think that there is nothing changed at all if we choose to follow the government instructions. This due to the respondents may be prefer the scientific approach such as the vaccines or medical content.
Secondly, this next question is designed to know the emotions and feelings of the respondents during the MCO life. Referring to this video, the response were basically into three categories, which are happy, neutral, and sad. Most of the respondents accounted for neutral and sad due to the fact that major of the respondents are students. Almost 30 respondents voted for similar response such as boring, frustrations, depressions, bad feeling about their life, and stress. Researchers believe this is a reaction of a studies. Meanwhile, some answers cease to be natural as respondents simply reply just fine and okay. This may be due to the respondent having hard times finding out what activities they can fill up during their MCO time. And other than that, only about 5 to 7 respondents agree that they are completely doing great and feeling privileged to stay at home because of the stable family, can spend time with their family and siblings, have a stable Wi-Fi connection, and prefer online studying style rather than physical studies. Next question is actually asking the respondents to give their prediction about the future of Malaysia if there is a second wave of this COVID-19 outbreak. The answer are opinions of the respondents to a divergent question. Researchers can feel the sense of the respondents, feel and say no to the second wave of the COVID-19. This is definitely due to the fact that many people are suffering due to the COVID-19. Basically, unemployment, studies of research issues, social life, and family's economic condition are the common yet important side effects of COVID-19. Some have even suggested that the government should use force when the citizens are intolerant with the government bodies. Also, some believe that Malaysia will probably be able to manage if there is a chance of a second wave better than before, as Malaysia is already on its steps to reach a remarkable recovery rate in handling pandemic COVID-19.
As for the conclusion, Malaysia has achieved to be one of the best countries in handling pandemic COVID. 5 different factors have been identified throughout our research. Before doing our research, we have proposed 3 different hypotheses for our study. To obtain answers, we made a quick survey, and after analyzing the data, it is proven that all 3 hypotheses are accepted. It is expected to be no second wave if we emphasize the concept of social distancing, maintain our hygiene, and also respect the direction given by the government with full responsibility. For the next action that we need to do is people need to stay alert and stay safe whenever they are. This is to prevent the rise of the cases of COVID-19. Everybody needs to take precautionary measures before doing something and if possible to avoid gatherings. This is to make sure that we break the chain of infection and reduce the number of cases. If we manage to do this, this can guarantee a sheltered living environment, a stable economic growth, and to affirm the victorious and the brighter future of Malaysia in breaking the chain of coronavirus COVID-19. That's all from us. Thank you. And thank you for watching.